pretty mad. It's that chick that
It has a very potent, like, you would, if you know anything about perfumes, you would assume that this is a very expensive perfume.
I assume any perfume's expensive.
It depends on where you get it. You can get like some cheap, you can get some like cheap over the counter off the shelf perfume from like Walmart.
The best best cologne I've ever seen in terms of perfumes and such was Daytona 500. That was some good stuff.
But like you can assume that this costs in the hundreds, probably.
Like I was already assuming as much. It's it. I said that's a cologne, not a perfume.
The perfume says, it's like not the perfume says. Yes, the perfume comes off the note and starts talking to you.
It's that strong. It has its own mind. It has its own will.
You become a repellent. Yeah, that's true. In my experience, you probably become a repellent because that stuff really smells really bad.
All right, but go ahead with the note.
The note says, it's like, it says, "Hello, my little travelers. I have acquired somebody of one of your friends.
Is it the kid?
Not the kid. Dodger was with you guys for the most part today.
Okay.
I think Dodger's been super excited about this trip, so he's like been glued to you guys today. You guys would know that the only one that was left home during this time was Roundtrip.
Oh boy.
She's like attached to this note is a location. It's a private location. I wish you to meet me there so that we may talk. So we may talk business.
Well, obvious trap is obvious. As much as a trap she is.
You guys are mean. I mean, technically, no.
I never said anything. I'm mean to her.
You guys know he pays the bills of this house. You guys are like living in this house for free, as far as you know. So you're like, do we really need this guy? Let's check our funds.
I mean,
actually, I don't think you guys pay rent for this house because it's.
I don't. I pay for my apartment, but that's it.
Because this house that you all currently live in this house, you guys know that this is since you guys own this house, you don't really pay rent. You guys have the deed to the property, after all. So you guys probably more pay for like any power you guys have, stuff like that, maybe utilities.
That's probably gonna be closer to it, yeah.
And repairs of your own if you break something.
So let's see. So where's the address?
The address seems to be in a row. To use the word secret to describe where this address leads you is generous.
Seedy?
Because it is where a lot of wealthy. It is a restaurant as far as you.
Okay, so the exact opposite of seedy.
It is a restaurant and a very, very expensive one at that.
Does she own it?
That is definitely not the case. But let's roll some dice.
All right.
I would pull up character sheet.
I keep forgetting I gotta open up Google.
Okay, I need Google Sheets, I think, for this one. For the character sheet. Remembering where, not having played for a while, I have to remember where everything is. Oh, by the way, it's National Unicorn Day, so everybody appreciate your current party member. Take a minute to appreciate your party member.
I'll make like a Fufflepuff and just put a toilet roll on my head. Oh boy. Let's see. All right. I'm guessing it's probably a streetwise.
Yes. Well, this is less to know about that and this to know about her. So this would be probably insight. She is definitely in the public eye, so a lot of knowledge about her is relatively public.
I actually have insight.
Like, unlike Grand Adventure, who is more modest about his approaches and things, she is the farthest thing from modest that's possible. Yeah, she likes attention. Two successes on insight. Oh, did I put away all my D6 or did I put them on? Yeah, of course, all my D6 got lost into the D6. Yeah, tables, especially when the D6 are really tiny. Oh, tiny. I'm gonna have to just roll these same two dice roll. That's making life easy, isn't it? So are you gonna roll insight, Tel? Neither of you particularly know in her relation to the restaurant very well. You don't know exactly why she chose this restaurant. You can pretty much only assume it's because it's really expensive. Either really expensive or just probably maybe even a place she might just what chose randomly as far as you know.
Yeah.
Dodger looks at the things like that is just like that. I guess I should have known that that's where she would go. Dodger's 4 successes. He's like that's her favorite restaurant. She goes there pretty much exclusively where she dines.
So should I bring my best mudding boots then?
The chances are, if we go there to talk to her, she's not gonna take it. We're not gonna talk to her in the main room, in the main eating area.
Yeah, backroom dealing crap. Hmm. She's honestly she's gonna pick where you want to pick, so we got no choice in the matter.
It's like the place is too public for any. The place she might have chose the place because it's a lot more public. In so she wanted. So she doesn't want to try any. She doesn't plan. She most likely doesn't plan to try anything here.
I thought maybe
Either
she got
that,
a
or she
back.
really doesn't want you to try anything either.
I thought she was gonna have a back room or something, like maybe a
Like there
private.
are back rooms, but there are obviously waiters come in and out.
Well, I was like, like private booth or something. All right, maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm thinking some crazy stuff.
But why would she have? Why would she kidnap him or just talk to us?
Because she wants to make a trade of some sort, probably.
I was like, I guess either that or she probably doesn't. She probably didn't think we would show up. So I was like, well, I guess we better find something nice to wear. His Dodger kind of just stands there and he's like, I don't have anything.
I got a polo shirt and some jeans, but that's about it.
Dodger's like, well, looks like this is what we're wearing. I was like, well, we should hurry up. We should hurry then. Dodger sniffs the letter. She's like, he says, it smells kind of nice. So that's a very good point. Dodger goes inside and puts something on. Nicer on than his vest. Well, I guess we should.
All right, I guess we'll meet up in the next 30 minutes, and everyone will be dressed appropriately.
Alright. It takes you a little bit of time. You guys get dressed somewhat appropriately. At least you got what is the nicest stuff you own on.
Oh, I have a pair of khakis. Nice.
Well, your characters are able to own what clothing you want to have.
I know. I was being stupid. My character's based around me. I have a pair of khakis.
So you guys get some time. Once you're finally full out and dressed, you guys head on to the restaurant. The restaurant's name is really one of those elaborate French-sounding names. It's a name that makes it sound it even sounds expensive.
Chevaux la baguette.
Sure. Sure. It's a name that even makes itself sound expensive. Like your wallet cries upon hearing the name. That probably. I'd like to see that too. Oh my god. So you walk into the restaurant, and the chef is like, we'll say, you walk in and you find a roadie dressed in a really fine outfit, tuxedo. It's like, how may I help you? It's like, how may I help you today?
Oh.
He greets as in how he greets you. Sure. He's like, what are your names? And he looks over the invite and is like, Pelucas. I shall you guess you are Kimbell, Kimbell Road in Dodger.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's
Yeah.
like, you are guests of Madame Jacques of Fortune.
That would be. Yeah. That'd be the case.
He's like, right this way. As he leads you through the crowd over to a booth in the far back. Upon entering the back, let's see. You find your very. She's dressed fairly differently than you last saw her. She is still wearing a rather expensive looking dress, as was expected, because that's what you've seen her wearing every time you ran an encounter. Just different fashions. Yes, for middle length sleeves. He's like, oh, but it is exquisite, is it not? It's like charming as always. She's like, aren't you charming as always? Please, have a seat. Order whatever you like.
I'm, don't do that. I've learned my lesson from that crap. Don't do it. Don't do it. Most expensive does not mean it tastes good, and you're gonna make yourself suffer just for that. If find the most expensive thing you know you like. Well, I can help you. I know the basics of French.
May I suggest for you maybe the kids menu? She laughs. She she was mocking you.
Yeah, I snorted at it. All right, let's keep down the profanity. We got kids here. Doesn't mean you should have to hear more. So, in the words of a great TV of a great show, watch your profanity.
And I upload images that I finally got around to doing. Being smart and definitely not lazy. I'm definitely not lazy. It did not take forever to make images. So, and now I can finally put Fortune on screen because I'm lazy.
Up, I know what I'm ordering. I'm getting me champignons autour dans le fromage.
Something with cheese. Something
All right.
with cheese.
He's close. Champignons and etouffees. It's mushrooms. So it's mushrooms smothered in cheese.
She's like, very well. She's like, very well. After a little while, though, she doesn't really seem to say anything. It kind of just...
I hope you're getting a mushroom steak, my friend. You do realize our... No, never mind. Just go with it. No, it's not. It's a whole different reason. It's more based on the campaign and the scenario.
You guys have horses.
We're horses. You're getting a steak.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So you guys can enjoy your food. We're just fucking with you, Cal.
Yeah. I'm like, now I would have been more acceptable if you got some chicken. Horses do, in real life, do eat chicken.
That's weird.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. In real life, horses will eat poultry. Horses will eat poultry. So it doesn't, it ain't just chicken, it's like birds. I'm like, so anyone who says otherwise, I mean, it's not the healthiest thing in the world, but it's one of the things that they will if they're like out of it.
After a while, a chef comes over, or a waiter, I know how restaurants work. He's like, may I take your order? He's like, it is. He's like, that's
You don't.
he nods.
Why? Why are you getting a 4-pound steak, my man?
You guys are just really trying to mess with her.
I wish I lean over to him. Just because he's a cunt doesn't mean you have to be one. I was raised away, man. I may not have been raised into money, but there's still courtesy.
She's like, it is no problem, concern.
There's things you just don't do. It's rude. Just because she has the money doesn't mean you take advantage of it.
To be fair, she has you here under a
duress. I'm very much aware, but it's still like don't bite the hand that's feeding you right now, especially the one that's holding someone potentially hostage. So don't bite that hand.
She also did tell you to order what you like, and she does not seem to be bothered by it at all.
He ain't ordering what he likes. He's ordering what would spite her.
So he does have his logic is sound. So
at a 5-star restaurant that looks so bad, getting a doggy bag.
To be fair, you guys look and are dressed like you guys don't belong in this restaurant now. So
well, this much is true, but at least don't compound upon it.
But anyway, she's like just proceed with your order.
All right.
Think of this as just pleasantries.
And I'll have champignons étoffes dans le fromage.
He's like oui, and she's like, and you, the usual, Gaston. He's like, oui, and he writes it down.
No one waits.
I will return momentarily. Yeah, all that.
No one witch like Garcon. No one delivers food like Garcon.
She after he leaves. How was your day? It seemed like were you pretty busy today? Was it a busy day? How are you? Oh.
Got
As the waiter comes back with like a bottle of wine inside a bucket, the bucket you usually get the wine in with the ice and everything.
I'm not. I'm not. Also, not a drinker of fine alcohol. I can't do it.
The wine looks to be of a very expensive. It looks to be of a very like decent vintage.
I wouldn't know that. I know French.
Decently fresh.
That's the extent of my fancy. I'm like I think the only language I could speak I know the word like one phrase I know in every language is all you can eat.
She pours the wine into her wine glass, as you'd expect, like halfway full, because it's a wine, not a. She's not here to get drunk. She's like, She's like, oh yes, you want to go straight into business, don't you? No formalities. She's like, the least you could have done is to wait for dinner to be finished. But she takes a sip of her wine.
Sorry, we're not men of culture like that. We mostly like to get work done and then enjoy the free time after.
She's like, I'll be blunt. She's like, then if you wish to get straight to the point, I guess we can. So she's like, I'm giving you an opportunity. I want to give you an opportunity.
Okay.
My through various contacts that I have, I I know various funny. I learned you plan on going on a trip soon. I'm not sure. No one knows where. I do not know where or why.
I'm pretty sure you could fathom and guess why, but
Well, her contacts can only do so much.
yeah,
Tell
but
her
I'm
so
sure.
much information.
Yeah, but I'm sure she can guess that. It doesn't take a sleuth to figure out to fathom a guess. Like after all what we've been fighting for, what do you think we're gonna do with the trip? Certainly ain't gonna go to Ponyland.
What are you gonna? Now that you found the aircraft, what are you gonna do? We're gonna go. Oh my god. Okay, okay. She's like, this is true. Business is business. He's like, I suspected as much. One of Grand Adventure's old, he probably had been ciphering through Grand Adventure's old notes. Been wanting to get a hold of them myself, but it's hard to get into property. Partially what I was looking for, trying to find Grand Adventure's just property deed.
Hmm.
Since one in the public eye as myself cannot be doing something so uncouth as to break into someone's house like that.
Uncouth. God damn.
It's like there is no evidence that I've been doing that I have done as such.
Unfortunately, money talks. Yeah,
Eyewitness testimonies are like the problem with eyewitness testimonies is they're like the least useful, like some of the least substantial evidence.
yeah. And even if that was
Problem.
where money, even if that was to get somewhere, the term money talks applies here.
You are also pretty sure that she could probably pay somebody off, and she probably usually does. She's like, she takes another sip of the wine and sets the glass down. She's like, I figured that it would be nice for us to get to know each other a bit better. We started off on the wrong hoof, so to speak.
I think we still are on it, but go on.
She's like, I know my name, but I'm able to gather I was able to gather your name fairly easily. You were less subtle about it, and you were obviously exist.
So you checked our Facebooks. Good job.
Actually, due to the time period and the setting, I don't think Facebook's a thing. I don't think the internet's a thing yet.
Okay, so you use the dating site Pony Finder.
Oh wow, that was bad, Ted.
I'm sorry. It fit too well.
Okay, moving on.
What was? All right. So what's this deal you're wanting to cut? You're obviously leading up to something.
She's like, I want you to help me
How?
with something that I need done.
All
I'll
right.
say an old associate of mine, not to name names yet, has caused me some grief.
How
It has
so?
also stolen something rather substantial of mine that I would like to have back. That's a
Yeah.
possibility. I don't know. He's like, also, I am very confident I am confident in your skills. You are able to solve grand adventures as a little puzzle, after all.
We're doing this the Crash Bandicoot 2 style, where the enemy makes allies with the other enemy.
That's fair.
Well, well, she has. She basically, dude, you do realize that that basically we're dealing with a hostage situation, the equivalent of such.
She's like, I also like to understand. She's like, I have other reasons to hire you. I realize that this is less ideal. I could probably use other informants that would be even probably more efficient. She's like, however, I also like to, if I'm going to have Grand Adventures as if I'm going to have somebody fill Grand Adventures as shoes, I'd like to know what my new antithesis, if you will, is capable of.
No, antithesis applies well here as well. Uh, yeah, and
You guys are her opposites.
yes, antithesis.
Rivals, she doesn't understand your skills yet, so she doesn't want to call you rivals yet. You're probably assuming she has insulted you in some way. If you want to take, you could take offense to it if you want.
And then we would have said no because she had no leverage.
Both of us are aware that you would have said no.
She needs she needed the leverage, so she's got it, and now here we are. That for
Like, you
for
don't have to say yes. She picks up her wine glass again with her magic and kind of swirls the glass around a little bit. She's like, I do appreciate. She's like, if you accomplish this for me, I will be able to. You have will not only have earned my respect as, we'll say rival. We'll use the word rivals. I will call it. I will, but I will also return your friend unharmed. With no, and there will be no hard feelings entirely from my end. Should you decline, I can't be held. I personally could. I could probably arrange a few things. She doesn't seem to be being specific in the slightest. That seems to be intentional.
mm-hmm. All right. So all right, you basically got us at gunpoint, so we agree. What's now?
She's like, let's eat first. Let's let us celebrate our deal.
Hmm.
Shortly after the food arrives, your food arrives, and she raises. Oh, she's like, help yourself to some wine. It's a very fine year.
Um, and I'm not a fan of wines. Not to sound any less refined than I already am, but I stick to whiskey at best.
She kind of smiles and is like, she's like, I guess it is not a taste. I guess it is not a taste for everyone. She's like, I guess not everybody understands the intricacies of drinking wine.
I just don't care for the flavor personally.
Basically, what she's implying is that basically she is probably not even going to get drunk off what she's drinking. She's sipping it very slowly, and
she's basically she's basically calling you a lightweight and a horrible
no,
drinker.
she's just. It's more that she is. It's not even the amount she's drinking will probably barely even get her buzz at
Yeah, I'm
best.
just that's what I'm getting. She's basically saying
It's dinner wine. It's
you have
like a
no
dinner
sense of
wine.
self control, basically.
Because like as your food arrives, it smells exquisite. Like food you probably haven't even. This is like a smell of food you probably haven't seen in like an eternity, if ever. She begins to enjoy her food.
Dude, you haven't seen me cook a double mushroom burger. I'll blow your mind. I mean, trust me, I know how to cook a budget too, but every so often you gotta treat yourself, man. Can't You just can't have hay ramen all the time.
Move her up there, corner. Move her up there in the corner with your guys' favorite image.
Mhm. It's been stolen.
It's your guys' favorite. Your guys' thing you're looking for. Butterflies. All right. You enjoy your food, carefully, slowly and casually. After she finishes, she wipes her mouth out slowly, and she's like, "A toast to our new, a toast to our new, for our partnership."
Right? It is a partnership. It's just under duress. So, I'll raise my glass of water. So I'll just hold it up close to me, just like.
It's like, I hope to a prosperous future. Shall we have a prosperous? Shall our future a toast to our future? May it be prosperous and well, may it be prosperous. I was trying to figure out my words. A lot. And may our competition be fun.
Hmm.
Hopefully after this, I'll be able to have as good a rival again as Grand Adventure. He was a worthy opponent. He's like, this is true. Technically, I beat you to it, but that's beyond the point. The waiter comes like, he checks madame. He's like, first, she's like, just put this on my tab. I shall take care of this later. Very well. Basically, she's not gonna put a lot of money on the table while in front of you guys.
No problem. That'd be like the epitome of suck. If this was a dine and dash.
She says, you will find the information you seek here. You will find the individual. You will find the first place to begin your search here. This is the address of one of my informants.
Now, while this does give us a starting point, would you have any? Would you know any reason or modus operandi into why they may have left?
My associate?
Yes.
The associate that is causing me this grief is an old business. Would have been an old business partner. Really, I say the word associate when it is more of a relative.
For retrieving them.
Yes. My sister. Yeah. My sister Dented Mirror has taken something of mine from my house, and I generally don't appreciate anybody taking some of my belongings.
Will you stop it, bud?
If you want to put it in that kind of prospect, I would say that she is worse than myself. She just doesn't like money as much as I do. She doesn't appreciate. Actually, she'll word it like she just doesn't appreciate the finer things in life as much as I tend to do.
Hmm.
Go ahead and roll insight into the name Dented Mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Streetwise can also work. Dang. You could also roll Streetwise should you desire to.
I have negatives to it. You need more. You need time.
Yeah, investigation is more something you have to use that takes a little bit of time to do. And just knowledge. Let's see. Then I misplaced the dice I was using to roll. Let's see. You have a rating of insight. What's this? Slash R 7. Okay, that's 4 successes. Dodger's skills were entirely invested into things like this. He's
Yeah.
a smart cookie, but he can't do anything else, really. You have your magic and stuff, so you can do that, but in combat, he can't do anything.
Yeah, and I went with a very heavy, gun heavy focus with
Like,
some
he can hide.
survival aspects.
Like, the best combat thing he can do is hide.
Yeah, I built my character around being able to use stealth and crap.
Like, I basically built him to fill up any possible gaps there might be in the party. And since you already had like Ratchet and Ted and Timberwood, and your character was already proficient in knowledge like archaeology and stuff like that, it was he was more of a to fill in navigation. He's also decent at things like insight and stuff like that. Like, you're better at knowledge archaeology than he is, because I think you have. I don't know what your dice rolls are at. Feel that is rating. So how much? Say what now? Ah. Okay. So from there, he's like, Dodger will be able to tell you. She's like, your sister, she's like, Dented Mirror, your sister? He's like, unfortunately.
So you're aware of this, kiddo?
He's like, I've heard about her before, too, while I was. He's like, I heard about her before from while I was in the orphanage. Rather seedier names tend to travel around sometimes, and she's been in the news a couple times. She is one of the most. She is a very notorious. She's a notorious thief.
Oh.
She's like, while I acquire my things a little forcefully into the intent to do them about a little seedier than Grand Adventure does, more or less what I do is legal. Basically what she does is, while she hires goons to do things for her, for the most part, what she does, she makes most of her money fairly legitimately.
She just plays the law to her advantage.
Yeah. While her sister is basically like your cat burglar. Pretty much. They're both kind of both seedy and asshole individuals. It's just one of them is more arrogant than the other one. You guys are talking to the more arrogant one.
Hmm.
AKA, you can kind of tell this because of where you. She's like, not anyone can just, not all of us. I guess not all the family finding, enjoys the chase as much as I do. She's been in the news a couple. Once Dodgers mentioned you guys were some news articles you read a while back when some things were stolen from the museum. Just recently in the news, though, a thing was stolen from the museum that you will remember finding in the news. And the news did tell you that it was not property of, but it was something donated by, given the, I say, and once again, the word donated in parentheses, or quotation marks rather.
Lent, lent,
By
lent for display.
Fortune Seeker. Well, she sold it to the museum.
Okay.
That's why I said the word donated in question marks, quotes, because you guys already know that she doesn't really. She will give artifacts to museums, but they have to give her. She expects something in return. Unlike Rand, who just donated them flat out. She describes what is basically a tiara. She's like, it is a very valuable artifact that I found overseas not too long ago. It was a crown that used to belong to royalty back in more medieval times. It's not as rare as say something. It's not as rare as say in some other things I found, but it is rather exquisite and contains very valuable gems. It was one of my favorite discoveries, even though it may not be as rare or priceless. But in my experience, everything has a price, so that's not as relevant. Priceless artifacts are only are as valuable as those who want them, what you're willing to pay for them.
Hmm.
After all. Yes, it is rather disgraceful to have something of that you put work into acquiring stolen from where you were storing it.
Will you get your goddamn chip over your shoulder? Let's just get this done. Talk this over with and get done.
She's like, but I digress. But to digress, it gives you. She's like, this. I talked to this. This is one of my. This is an associate I currently work with. His name will be Rumor Mill. The name he likes to go by is Rumor Mill.
Hmm.
It's rather a bit on the nose, but on the what?
Just
Yes, but it's ten. But even I will tell you that he has earned earned his title. I don't think it's his real name, but it is what he goes by. He's like, and with that, I should take my leave. I have some of my own arrangements to take care of. He's like, I wish you the best of luck on this. On
Well,
your
before you go, how do we contact you upon finding the item, or if worst goes to worst, not finding the item?
He's like, I have ways. I have ways of getting a hold of you. Simply, she's like, that is a question, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
As she excuses herself from the table.
Just so you know, when this is done, I want the trade done in a public area.
He's like, I have everything ready for your, if you succeed. He's like, if it means anything, I do have some belief. I have belief that you will be able to succeed. Otherwise, I wouldn't have hired you in the first place. Like, she does, you can tell from the air of how she's speaking that what she said has pretty much rings true the entire night. She is testing you.
Hmm.
And you pretty much can get it from the tone in her voice as well. Carry yourself all night. Keyword is arrogance.
Alrighty.
She doesn't want her new rivals to not be as. She wants her new rivals to be interesting. All right. The Garçon, when you ask him to get a doggy bag, he kind of looks at you, gives you a shot of that says, like a judging glance. He's like, very well. I will see what I can do. He eventually comes back with one of those styrofoam boxes. He's like, it took us a minute to see if we had any, but we do. I was like, quite. Most finish their dinners. I was like, very well. May you have a very fine evening. You leave the restaurant. It is relatively dark now. It's like early evening. It's starting to get pretty dark. Early to late evening. Not late, mid-evening, rather.
I think that's part of the tab. You can add the tip as part of the tab in some places. It's basically just basically a little section added underneath the check note.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a Japanese bar and grill where I live, they do the same thing. At the bottom of the check, when you're like doing everything, you write in the number of your tip. In fact, it's even on like pizza delivery.
Yeah, pizzas do it too. You can pre-add it. You don't even have to give them the cash up front. You just add it as part of the payment.
Although I prefer to give the tip to the delivery person in cash, because the restaurant tends to be fucking douchey with that when it comes to things like pizza delivery.
I normally don't carry cash, so I'm kind of for it. I'm always a fan of the 10% tip. I know some people's like, 15 is the number. Dude, if I don't give Jesus Christ more than 10% of my paycheck, I'm not giving someone 10% of my food.
Okay. That was in. You leave the restaurant, and once again, it's late evening. She, yeah, a detail I forgot to say. She did give you a time that's usually best to meet the to meet Rumor Mill, and it's usually about this time. It's a little bit. It's going to be. It's a little bit past this time that it would be best to find him. The address that she gave you, the area that she gave you, is a very seedier part of town in a back alley. I was like, you think I should probably be home with Ratchet. Dodger kind of looks a little disappointed, but he does so understands the implications of the situation. He's like, understood.
We'll announce ourselves.
It'll be the secret. You'll use the secret knock.
I'll say it's Timber.
I don't know if you've seen the Lego movie or not.
I did. I don't remember it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Now I will do the secret knock. Turns to the door and cuts it through and just dunk. Hits it once. It's such a silly movie, but it's so good.
You know what's funny is because that's actually kind of weird because most people normally knock 3 times.
Sure.
What?
You don't know the shaving and haircut?
What? No. Oh, is it like? Oh, that tune.
See
I
that one?
I remember hearing. I heard a different lyric for it. I think when I watched what was the fucking movie, Roger Rabbit. Oh, I thought it was.
They call it in Roger Rabbit too.
I thought it was. I saw something about a woodchuck.
It's shaving and haircut for me.
Okay, I knew that. I knew the tune, not the name, and I always thought it was a woodchuck.
Nope.
Something to do with woodchuck.
Dodger. You drop Dodger back off at the house, and he goes inside.
No, if you want this to stick to the theme, he needs to be long faced.
No. That was a very bad joke, Ted. That was actually really good at the same time. I never would have. Oh, fucking. That was such a good pun, too. That worked on. God dang it. It's so fucking good.
I love me a good pun. I have lots of bad ones, but the occasional gem appears.
God dang it.
Rumor mill, yeah.
Alright, so you start traveling through the town, and you eventually come into this part of town where you're at. So, I'm assuming you guys decided once you got to a certain point, you guys decided to walk from there or took a taxi to be safer.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's gonna rob my truck anyways.
You guys arrive. You guys find the right alley. As you walk down it, this is definitely one of the your stereotypical seedy alley where you would meet people. You guys see your crime alley. You see a cat standing on a trash can. You walk past it. It's like it jumps off the trash can, takes off into the alley.
I was expecting an actual cat lady person, honestly.
Find a barrel. You see a barrel of fire that isn't attended right now. You eventually come to a door on the side of the building. It's a wooden door, and it's one of those doors that has the little sliding hole.
I'll knock on the door. I'll just do
How do you knock on the door?
2 knocks.
The little peephole the peep slot slides open. It's like, what do you want?
The dusk howls at moonlight. I'm kidding. I want to talk to Rumor Mill.
Nay. It's like, and why would you? And what makes you think Rumor Mill is here?
I don't know. I was just hoping if I made you laugh, you might just let us in.
He's like, Rumor Mill doesn't have time for you for this kind of thing.
All right.
Friends of fortune. Why didn't you just say so? You hear the thing slide. The slot slides closed, and you hear like the sound of like 5 different locks getting undone.
I would have swore the wolf house at dusk would have done it.
Either that, or it was a different password.
It turns out it turns out it's the moon and not at dusk.
I actually legitimately knew what I had it made, and I obviously ain't gonna. I guess I could tell you, but
Please be good. I want it, please.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
I'll consider it.
Because I was really hoping something that like I just might do it. It'd be so dumb. It'd be like we laugh.
After the 5 locks get undone, the doors open. Like, come in.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to give this guy the voice of the shopkeeper from Resident Evil 4, but I just could not get the voice. My throat is refusing to work with me.
I know who the shopkeeper you're talking about. I've never actually heard his voice. I've never played the game, so.
Yeah.
Where's the?
See, my throat just refused to fucking do it.
I think I remember seeing someone shoot him.
You get in and you find.
I know he is.
You find rummaging around a couple things. You find the person who opened the door is a Pegasus. Relatively built, but not super built. He seemed to be about slightly on the older side, probably 35, 40. Somewhere in that range. He seemed to be the one that was guarding the. You enter inside the building, and there's a couple others in there. 2 of them all remain quiet. There's like a roadie. There's a roadie in here. There's another bat pony there, and but the one who seems to stand out the most is another roadie who seems to be He's kind of the skinniest of the lot, but he also seems to be. He has an air about him that just screams that he knows things. He's
1,000
wearing a
yard.
trench coat. He wears a trench coat and a fedora.
He's got a 1,000 yard stare. He tells
Goddamn.
he tells Vietnam War stories. I've seen some things.
He's like, so you're looking for me, are you?
You were the one told we were told to find.
Ah, Fortune is one. She is a good business. She does a lot of business. Her name carries a good amount of weight over here. She's a rather frequent customer. Information is good to have, after all. Everyone wants information, and I'm good at acquiring it. She's like, so you're looking for information then? Obviously, Fortune wouldn't have sent you my way if she didn't have you guys looking.
We're looking for her sister.
Ah, you're looking for Dented Mirror. Dented Mirror is hard to find. Dented Mirror is one who doesn't like herself being found easily.
Figured as much as that.
Unfortunately, Fortune doesn't know where she's at most of the time, and usually if Fortune did, she probably wouldn't say anything. There is such thing as honor among thieves most of the time, after all. Even though I wouldn't call Fortune a thief per se, but maybe sometimes the bonds between family are still a little stronger than one might think. Unless someone is wrong, and the newspaper that has that article is sitting on the table. But sometimes when family wrongs you in such a way, you tend to not take very kindly to it. But you aren't interested in the life story of Dented Mirror or their relationship. You're looking for her location.
Afraid so.
And I'm assuming you've already gone through pleasantries with her, so you don't want to do pleasantries. Nobody is here for that.
Sorry, we just met. No second base until later.
He doesn't look like he honestly doesn't look like a guy you guys want to get to know very well anyway. You might get in trouble for being associated with him too much. He says, very well, I could probably pull some strings. Let me see here. He goes through some papers that he has. He's like, I do not know where she resides. Thieves tend to keep that information very close to heart. Especially cat burglars like her. So especially the ones who are arrogant and cocky enough to leave calling cards.
She has a calling card.
That she does. She tends to leave hand mirrors at the scene of crimes. A little stereotypical, but but I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, so to say. She's not as arrogant as her sister, but arrogance
Still
tends to
wants to
run in
be,
her family.
but still wants to be known.
Arrogance tends to run in their family. But a late informant of mine, he got arrested he got imprisoned a little while. Informants need to work hard to not be caught, and he didn't. And he made a mistake. And while I choose to not associate with those, I choose not to associate with those that make mistakes. I choose to, well, if they get arrested, they don't get business with me anymore. But I digress. You're not here listening about me. He was able to get news on her next location, on her next target. He puts a thing on the table. There's a gem coming in soon. A rather expensive one that has been uncovered by regular archaeologists, not adventurers. Unfortunately, adventurers are a dying breed. But from the looks of it, but from what I've heard, you guys are filling Grant's shoes, aren't you? Oh no. It takes a lot of work to hide something from me.
know what to get someone for their birthday.
That's one. I guess that's you. I don't know that you can start with the criminal underbelly and do it. I hear he wants a Turbo Man doll.
I hear the GM likes Pepsi Man.
This is something I do. I do like Pepsi. Anyway, I digress. And he's like, you'll find her. He tells you that the gem is arriving to that museum during tomorrow, and she plans to strike that night. She decided that this is going to be one of her grandest heists, so she's choosing to steal it when security is the heaviest.
So to take care of this grand heist, I guess we're all going on a grand adventure.
Almost like that was the intended thing for his name. Weird, isn't it? It's almost like when I named that character, when I named him that, it was
intentional. I will use and abuse it.
He's like, he's like, well, if you want to keep me in mind, I'm assuming that you aren't, if you are replacing Grand Adventure, I'm assuming you aren't willingly working with Fortune Seeker.
No.
And to be honest, if she is like, she drink with me a lot. We're good friends. I don't want to use the word good friend, because you're never good friends with anybody in this business.
But yeah, she's got a friend of ours on hold.
Friendships cause problems in a business like mine. It is. He chuckles. He's like, unfortunately, it is. A lot of people don't want to be associated with somebody whose job is to gain information, because sometimes information is not gained the best, in the most polite of ways. Isn't that right, Knuckledown? The Pegasus that was by the door kind of, you hear like a cracking noise coming from that direction. He like cracks his neck to the side.
Nice
bruiser. It looks like he could probably snap you bend you into a pretzel.
Right. Actually, that's myth.
That's actually what he says, actually. He's like, that's actually a myth. I did graduate from college.
Alright, he saved me from the joke. I'm gonna say, I'm like, what did you feed him? Fancy feast?
He's like, decent muscle tends, relatively common muscle tends to run in my family. We get it from my great grandpa. We get it from my roadie ancestry.
Alright.
I also lift.
Don't. Don't.
He's like, if most people ask me why I got into a profession like this, easy. I like hitting things. Yeah, rules. I got enough of rules when after I graduated college.
May I ask what you majored in?
Liberal arts.
It's all good. It's all good. I can't stop. I tried.
I did this intentionally. I just wanted to make this like the least stereotypical bouncer ever.
I figured. I'm like, all right. He went to college. That's great. I can't make the strong idiot jokes. And like, I'm like, all right. What was in college? I was hoping like accountants or something. Liberal arts works too. Sorry, dude. Don't. All right, that's it. Stop. Don't turn this to in character, please.
He's like enough about me. He's like he's like you got your. He's like maybe some other time. He's like you got your information. It's probably best you don't want to stay here too long. Nice folks like you.
All right. So
Nice folks like you don't want to associate yourselves with the likes of us too long. I'm trying to like do a Rocky voice, but it's really hard. My mouth just does not want to do impressions today.
I like the Bruiser. The Bruiser's cool.
Yes.
Bring the Bruiser. The Bruiser's cool.
No, he didn't say that. I think you guys are nice. He said you guys are friendly guys, or nice guys. He did say you guys were nice guys. He just didn't want you guys to associate with him that much. It's kind of the vice versa in this situation.
Yeah,
He doesn't want you guys getting in trouble.
All right. Well, let's move on. All right. So,
You will know, since you guys know that tomorrow the gem arrives, you guys will probably have to you'll probably have to figure something out to do with then. She said that she plans to strike the second night after the gem arrives. As far as that's what his informants were able to gather.
makes sense. First night to scout the area, make plans. Second night to do the work.
Yep. You know that for the first couple days, as he said, the first couple days for the gem tend to be the ones where it's not on. It's under the most security. From what he said, that this is Dented Mirror wants to make this one of her biggest.
Alrighty then.
And this is where we'll stop for now.
All right.